Welcome back, Golly Vibes family. Today's episode is going to be about the pastors that are teaming with Kamala, right? Endorsing Kamala. I just wanted to show you a few of them because they made a whole little ad. Blew my mind. Honestly, I don't really know most of them. However, I know a couple of them because we've done a couple episodes on them. So clearly, there's a distinction between two different individuals, guys. There's a distinction between the wheats and the tares, and it's being shown to us right in front of our face. Now, whether or not you want to acknowledge it shows where you're at in your soul. It has to. Because I know two pastors on here. One is Jamal Bryant, the one who talks about selling weed in the church. The one that says Jesus was out of order, 85% of his life. And William Murphy, another guy who had a whole club in his church on New Year's. The one who was singing Megan Thee Stallion Savage at church. Those are two of the people that are involved in this little group I'm about to show you on this video. So that alone should tell you, when it comes to these individuals as a group, something is off. Let's just show the clip.
The faith community has always served as a beacon of hope in trying times.
And this election
Is no different.
we are going to remember this moment forever
The moment we chose joy and freedom.
as a new way forward.
Some say faith and politics don't mix, but freedom and hope do. Seeing people from all different backgrounds
Races, religions, and genders.
gather to show their support and enthusiasm
For Kamala Harris is church.
She exudes integrity,
dignity
Humanity.
and empathy.
and she can reach across the aisle, any aisle, and get things done.
That's what we need in the White House. The time is now.
The time is now. This moment, right now.
Each of us are called to our own vineyard. This is Kamala's. When our sister wins, we all win.
Vote for Kamala Harris by November the 5th.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve.
Guys, you know how scary that is? But you know how beautiful it is that they showed themselves? That's frightening. It really is. But it's beautiful that the Lord allowed us to see and is allowing us to see. I said it before. You could not like Trump and just not vote. But when you vote for that and come into agreement with things, these people said Kamala Harris is church. The same lady who told people who were screaming out Jesus is Lord that they're at the wrong rally. Then after that, she decided to go to Jamal Bryant's church. One of the biggest hypocrites in the church. Let's look at two videos of Kamala Harris, right? Talking about abortions and talking about trans. Let's just look at two videos of those. Because this is what those pastors are coming into agreement with. So I just want to show you guys just a little bit. And if you're somebody who's coming into agreement with her as well, boy, oh boy. After you see these clips, there's really nothing to say. You just don't vote.
I know we all know that one does not have to abandon their faith or reasonably held beliefs to agree that the government should not be telling her what to do with her body. So, Nevada, to protect your right to make your own health care decisions, vote yes on question 6. And make sure you vote up and down the ballot to truly protect that right. And I will tell you, when Congress passes a bill to restore reproductive freedom nationwide, as President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
Guys, this lady's wicked. Reproductive freedom. Do you know what that means? That means wanting to take the life of the baby that's inside of you. Listen to me, sisters. Please answer me this. Do you think that when you take the life of the living being, the living soul that is inside of your stomach, do you think that's not murder? Do you think that's not murder? Really, really think about this real quick. There's a soul inside of you that God put there. God did not put that soul there by mistake. God put that soul there knowing the purpose that would come into being for that soul if they chose God. So it wasn't a mistake. You don't have a soul in you by mistake. The Lord knew it would come. But by free will, you can choose whether or not you want to get rid of the soul that God put there. Now, here's the question. When it's in you and you get rid of it, do you think it's not murder? And some people will say, well, no, she's a fetus. Okay. Let's go. Let's surpass that. Let's go past that. Because Kamala picked a vice president that signed a bill passed a bill making it legal for people to get abortions at 9 months. What now? That's what you're coming into agreement with? Because that's what all those pastors are coming into agreement with. Oh boy, oh boy. It is going to be frightening to stand before the living God on Judgment Day for those individuals. I can guarantee you that. It is going to be frightening. I'm not one here that's going to sugarcoat it. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care who those people are. I don't care if they got pastor in front of their name or bishop in front of their name. I don't care who they call themselves. Let's play another video. Her talking about the trans, getting people shots in prison. That's what these pastors are coming into agreement with.
When I was Attorney General, I learned that the California Department of Corrections, which was a client of mine, I didn't get to choose my clients.
Right, a client of the Attorney General.
A client of the Attorney General, right. Of the Office of Attorney General, that they were standing in the way of surgery.
For prisoners.
For prisoners. And there was a specific case. And when I learned about the case, I worked behind the scenes to not only make sure that that transgender woman got the services she was deserving. So it wasn't only about that case. I made sure that they changed the policy in the state of California so that every transgender inmate in the prison system would have access to the medical care that they desired and need. And I believe it was not only, I know it was historic in California, but I believe actually it may have been one of the first, if not the first in the country, where I pushed for that policy in a department of...
You hear what this woman is saying? And she was right about the they desire part, because they don't need it. She pushed for hormonal shots to enter prison for individuals who think they're a different gender. God is not the author of confusion, ladies and gentlemen. This is a woman who is pushing for confusion. And a lot of you guys will say, well, you should play what Trump says. Let's see what Trump says on this issue.
Here's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age. I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately. Furthermore, I will support the creation of a private right of action for victims to sue doctors who have unforgivably performed these procedures on minor children. The Department of Justice will investigate Big Pharma and the big hospital networks to determine whether they have deliberately covered up horrific long-term side effects of sex transitions in order to get rich at the expense of vulnerable patients, in this case, very vulnerable. We will also investigate whether Big Pharma or others have illegally marketed hormones and puberty blockers which are in no way licensed or approved for this use. My Department of Education will inform states and school districts that if any teacher or school official suggests to a child that they could be trapped in the wrong body, they will be faced with severe consequences, including potential civil rights violations for sex discrimination and the elimination of federal funding. As part of our new credentialing body for teachers, we will promote positive education about the nuclear family, the roles of mothers and fathers, and celebrating rather than erasing the things that make men and women different and unique. I will ask Congress to pass a bill establishing that the only genders recognized by the United States government are male and female, and they are assigned at birth. The bill will also make clear that Title IX prohibits men from participating in women's sports, and we will protect the rights of parents from being forced to allow their minor child to assume a gender which is new and an identity without the parents' consent.
Seen it yourself, people. Listen, you can hate Trump all you want, but clearly the man is not with the confusion. Now you having somebody who's running who's with the confusion, rewarding the confusion, coming into agreement with the confusion, pushing the confusion, and you have a man who's running who's not with the confusion. It's pretty simple. Let me know what you guys think. God bless. Shalom.